So how's everyone doing? We're playing Tales, the Backbone Preludes today. This is a prequel to the point-and-click adventure game Backbone. Backbone kind of was pretty interesting. It was a furry, very high-res pixel art 2D point-and-click adventure game that kind of weirdly just ends. It's really, really great. And then it just stops. It doesn't have an ending. It doesn't really have it's not even like a twist narrative thing. It's just the game cuts off. And I think a lot of people were really looking forward to getting more in this setting. And then randomly it got announced that a prequel was coming out. So this is a prequel. It's been out for a few months. Let's go ahead and start playing it. I want to turn down the volume a little bit because it's pretty loud. That's probably better. I am very looking forward to this. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I'll probably turn it up just a little bit more. There we go. That's probably good. All right, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? I don't know why it says current progress will be lost. I haven't started playing the game yet. Clarissa, Gastown Plaza, age 7. Oh, Clarissa Bloodworth. That's her name. Oh, this is the town plaza. We get to, this is a map that you go to in Backbone, so it takes place in the same city. Grandpa? Oh, what is it, Clarissa? Did you hear what I said? Oh, I'm sorry, Clarissa. Grandpa was in a different place for a moment. In a sun chair somewhere, resting his tired old legs. Let's see, what do we want to say? I asked what you were thinking of, Grandpa. Oh, well, I was thinking of a faraway place. One that doesn't exist, Bella. Beyond the mountains, green leaves, rolling hills. Air so clean you could taste it. A place that smells of grass and water, where your lungs are more full than anywhere else. That sounds nice. It does, doesn't it? It's nice to dream sometimes. You can always imagine the world better than it is now. Someday you might be able to make it real. And what if I can't? Then it was a wonderful dream to have had. You dream a lot, Bella? Last night, I dreamt about a special world, a Clarissa world. Is that right? What's so special about it? What makes it yours? No school, none. Oh, what's wrong with school? Why don't you like it? No? You don't want to talk about it? You can tell me anything, Bella. I just don't like it. Did you do well in school, Grandpa? I suppose. I only did what I had to, though. Most of what I learned, and most of what's important, I learned outside of school. By meeting different people? Well, there's a lot of people out there, Clarissa. Lots of people who are good, but lots of people who are not. How can I tell the difference? There are many ways. You can see it in the way they smile, the way they talk, and even more in the way they listen. What about me? Do I do that? Well, let me take a look at you. Yes, I think so. I know so. What if someone thinks I'm a bad person anyway? Some might, but you can't control that. Regardless of how highly or lowly you think of someone, you can't make them change their perception of you. Okay, I won't. I don't care what people think about me. That's good. you can't spend all your time worrying about what other people think. There's a lot of people in this city, and they all have opinions on everything. Is there anybody no one likes? There's always someone, Clarissa, but luckily, that usually is different for everyone. Do some people not like us? Some do, and there are some who don't, but luckily, we don't need to worry too much about them, and neither should you. I won't, Grandpa. Come end of fall, the winds will grow, then twisting branches cusp the snow. But spring will free what cold held dear. Give way for one more year. Forgive me, Clarissa. I just remembered something. A poem. I read it a long, long time ago. It just came back to me just like that. What made you think of it? The years passing by, Bella. Time itself, I suppose. Tell me, what will you be when you're older? Who do you want to be? Very interesting. We get traits here now, so we get to choose. We get to choose what we want. Big boss, be really smart, really clever. What am I thinking? It's probably one of these two. Powerful, I mean, it feels like ambitious and powerful are kind of the same thing. I want to be like you, I'll be a big boss, I want people to listen to me. Being a big boss is getting people to listen to you. I think it'll probably be number 2. I want to be like you, Grandpa. I'll be a big boss. Like me? You sure about that? It's a lot of work being me. Wouldn't you prefer to just have fun? Can I do both? It's difficult, I'll tell you that much. Maybe you'll figure it out, though. You've got a good head on your shoulders. Thanks, Grandpa. I love you. I love you too, Clarissa, Bella. I couldn't ask for a better grandchild. Now, come on. I think it's time for dinner, shall we? Okay. Moody. Real moody opening. Haley says, the atmosphere is my favorite thing about Backbone. Music, art, tone. The actual plot I felt iffy about at points. I think the plot is a great first act that just doesn't continue. That's my issue with the original Backbone, is that it just stops. You aspired to be ambitious when you grew up. Okay, so Clarissa, she's a character in the first Backbone. It looks like there's a whole skill tree, or not skill tree, like a dialogue options tree. So this is going to be, I wonder if there's like different paths through the game. I wonder if it's like a Telltale game or something, because in the original Backbone, it's a very standard point-and-click adventure. There's absolutely no diversion, it seems, in the plot. But here it seems like there's lots of stuff. This guy, Howard, is the main character of the original Backbone. So, interesting. This is going to be unique, playing this game without remembering many of these characters. I don't know if Eli shows up in the original. I like this art. I like the way it like morphs around and moves. It's kind of uncanny. It's neat. Renee does show up. She's a cool character in the original. Yeah. Neat. Oh, scroll branch. Wow. So there are quite a few choices just for these characters. Is the tree the same for everyone is my question. It is not. That is very interesting. His goes quite a ways. Howard Thaddeus, first year Rock Faculty of the Arts, or Howard Lotor, that's his last name. Gotcha. Lotor is what is the scientific name for a raccoon. Procyon lotor. All right. Take it you weren't here for opening day? I really wanted to be here for it, but I had some things come up back home. That sucks. You didn't miss much, to be honest, and it felt more like a sales pitch than anything. Yeah, the brochure was pretty shiny, alright. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not exactly the Ritz. I've never been to the Ritz. Maybe the Ritz isn't even the Ritz. How deep does the rabbit hole go? Honestly, I'm liking the vibe right now. I think this is the part our parents were talking about when they say school is the best years of your life. Sure starting to feel that way. Empty. I'm here early. That or cloaks are out of fashion. They look like rich kids. Can't relate.
Hello.
Oh, there's some light voice acting. Interesting. Oh, hey there, a fresh face. Are you here to study? You're new, right? I never forget a face. I'm Howard. Nice to meet you.
Hey, yo.
Well, howdy, Howard. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Wisconsin, and I'll be your resident assistant. And your best friend, too, if you want one. Could you tell me where my room is? Not just yet. I'm really tired, man. It'll be quick and super duper fun, Howard. Don't worry about it. Just tell me what we're doing then.
Yeah.
A scavenger hunt. I'll pass, Wisconsin. Pass, but it's so much fun. Scavenging, hunting, with friends. Please do my little scavenger hunt. Maybe some other time, all right? Some other time, but what about your reception? What about your first impression of university? Come on, dude, the number. Oh, all right, okay, I guess. It's 304, down the hall. Thanks, no hard feelings, right? No hard feelings, none at all. I'll see you around. Thanks for playing, Howard. See ya, Wisconsin. Wanna know what he has to say? Are you back to complain about your reception? I'm sorry, I failed. Don't be mad at me. It's fine, Wisconsin. See you around. Paintings. These guys don't look very artsy to me. Intimidating, if anything. Oh, the art here is kind of cool. I might switch to controller because controlling this with keyboard. I vaguely felt like the first game had mouse control, but maybe it doesn't? Not sure. This frees up my hands a little bit though, so. Oh, did I unplug my controller? I did. This is what happens when we play a game live. Had a really bad case of Schrodinger's USB port just now. I tried desperately to plug it in and it didn't work, and then I flipped it over and it didn't work, and then I looked at it and I flipped it back over and it worked just fine. And you can tell us all about it on the weekend, all right? Sure, don't worry too much, I'll be fine. We're going to miss you so much, baby. I know, me too, Mom. Our little baby boy, baby Seamus, all grown up. Dad, come on. Rio 2 is not for you, Howard. Ooh, can open some stuff. Looks like a bunch of notes and notices. Let's see. For sale, history textbooks, never opened. Looking for roommate, girl preferably, ask for Freya, be cute. Print Club is looking for new members, ask for... looks like they ran out of space. Reminder that lights go out at 10, and so should your speakers, please. To the person who ate my nuts after I left them on the cloakroom counter, call me? Thaddeus Cock faculty of the farts. That's good writing. I'm looking for people to play tennis with. Ask for Dingo McCrank. Don't stay after class with Professor Coolidge. He will tell you about his miniature house models and you will not like it. Here's the last one, just about buried under the others. Please refrain from leaving childish messages on the notice board. Faculty. Looks like a bunch of notes and notices. What's in there? That's just a clock. Raph says, Seamus, is he Scottish? Should Toaster do a Scottish accent? I do not know if I could do one. It would be rough. Another raccoon? Oh, it's Larry. Oh, hey. What's up, loser? I'm sitting down chilling. You're the one lugging a big box around, loser. Yeah. Can I put this down somewhere? Of course, dude. Pick one of the bunks and chuck it in there. Thanks, man. You pick yet? I was thinking the top bunk, but you pick. I don't mind. Thanks, man. Which bunk will I pick? That's the question. Oop. I mean, speaking honestly, like, bottom bunk is pretty glamorous. I slept really up high in college for a while, but I eventually moved to a much smaller bed. Pick bottom bunk. You comfortably begin to shuffle your possessions onto the lower mattress, which in turns cushions their weight gently. Look at him, he looks so dapper. Plenty of space back there, you know, once you get rid of all the junk. It's interesting. This game's, like, I'm used to furry art styles that have... Hey, can you stop playing with the lights? Dude. I enjoy furry art styles that, like, manage to make characters look age appropriate. And what I mean by that is, like, this dude looks like a straight up dude. Look at him. He's beefy, but he's not like, I don't know. It's so easy to accidentally veer into, like, cartoonish, and I love toony art styles, don't get me wrong, but it's just interesting. Like, he looks like a person who would be in a old-fashioned school like this. Like, look at those shoulders, man. They're so broad. All right. Bottom bunk, huh? Perfect. I already had my heart set on top. You'll owe me one. I'm Howard, by the way. We'll see about that, Howard. I'm Larry. Good to meet you. What do you think so far? What do I think about what? The university, the dorm, everything. Oh, did you meet Wisconsin in the hall? Unfortunately. He means well. I think he's a good dude, just a little anxious about being the RA. Probably, yeah. He wanted to send me off to look for stuff. The scavenger hunt, huh? How was it? I just didn't do it. Too tired. That was an option, man. I wish I'd known. He had me searching the hall for a tiny note and a newspaper in the trash. That's even lamer than I thought it'd be. Glad I missed it. Yeah, I guess it's a little corny. I had fun, though. Now, tell me something about Howard. About me? Like, what? I don't know, man. How come you're here? What are you studying? I'm majoring in photography. No kidding, that's cool, man. Do you have a camera? A really good one, actually. Vintage. Doesn't vintage just mean it's old as shit? Anyway, I guess you're the expert, so why photography? Alright, so I can gain traits. We're gonna gain investigative. I want to show the world for what it is. For what it is, man? That sounds cool. There's a lot to show, for sure. I think our kind has a unique perspective on things, too. I got a feeling we're gonna become great friends, Howie. Howie? Yeah. Did people not call you that? I can't imagine they call you Howard, right? What's wrong with Howard? Nothing at all. It's a long name, is all. Takes a second to say, is all I'm saying. What's Larry short for? Lawrence? Larry's Larry, man. We'll just be Howie and Larry. Sounds good, yeah? Better than Howard and Lawrence, I guess. And there you go. Howie and Larry. Howie and Larry.
Whoa.
Fuck yeah, Howie and Larry, roommates extraordinaire. All right, Larry, tell me about Larry. All right. Well, I'm here to study. You know what? Why don't you guess? I bet you can't. I bet I can. I dig the confidence. All right. If you guess right, I get us lunch. Otherwise, you do. Deal? Deal.
Hey.
Sweet. Go. I don't see any instruments, brushes, or tools in here. Your major is theory rather than practice. Oh, interesting. So I couldn't use my mouse to control stuff, but I can use the right stick to do so. All right, what is his major? What do we think? I wasn't actually paying attention earlier. Classical arts, contemporary arts, graphic design. I'm gonna say contemporary arts or graphic design. Probably graphic design. Well, yeah, that's the vibe. Wrong. Unfortunately, I'm not that creative. Tell me then, what do you study? Classical arts, man. What? I don't look the type? No way. You look like you study accounting. Yeah, well, at least I'm not paying for lunch today. Come on, let's get moving. Sure. Let's go. Man, Larry finessed us. Classical was my second choice. I didn't think it would be contemporary because usually that means like, at this time period, that would be like literally sculpting like in their room. Oh man, the controller, so there's controller support, but there's no controller prompts. It's weird. Renee Wilson, April 27th, 1-3. What does 1-3 mean? That's kind of weird. That was, of course, Stepping High by Brovo, this marking their 10th consecutive week at the top of the charts. Stellar stuff. Now, before this DJ signs off for the day, it's time for today's stories. Cassius Perth, Minister of Science, announced today that he would be stepping down from his position after 15 years of service. In a press release, he stated that he was satisfied with the work he had done in the past few years and was looking forward to his retirement. A successor is currently being chosen. In a press release from the headquarters of the ministry, Science City, stated that a suitable candidate would be announced in the next week. In other news, locals in the West End are still reeling from the fire that ravaged an entire tenement block last week. The fire, which claimed a number of lives, has been reported as an unfortunate accident as a result of a gas leak. The police department has since stated that they will be investigating other at-risk buildings in the area for similar issues and are asking citizens to cooperate. Our thoughts and prayers are with the unfortunate souls lost in the fire. That's all for today. This has been Middays with Madison, and next up is Gus and the Steelers with Old Blue. All right, Renee, that article isn't going to write itself. Get to the office and get to work. What a nice little relaxing spot. Oh, she has like a dual-sided apartment? Interesting. Look at this. This is actually, it looks a little bit better than the original Backbone, the way that it scrolls like this. Lid down, the universal sign for Lucas not being home yet. Interesting, so there's a lot of stuff to play with in here. What a mess. I'll just tidy this up real quick. Oh, cool. Lucas hasn't used this for years. This is pretty to look at. Too nice to actually brew anything in. You look like you need more sunlight, baby. You and me both. Pumpkin Festival excites young and old. Stellar journalism, Renee. CPD 5th Annual Bowling Tournament, 3rd place. He's proud of this one. You hold this up to your ear, you can almost hear the soothing sounds of the souvenir shop we got it from. Got enough water? Good. Why can't he keep his books in his office? Oh, interesting. So look at this. It actually places everything. There's like a different map for each one. So if we have something there, if we move stuff, it will accurately display it because it just accurately placed them all from where we put them. That's cool. I should have put stuff closer to the sides. I kind of didn't realize the left side was so had like an extra tile on it, basically. Used to keep my typewriter here back when we moved in. There's still dents in the table. We should get some new records and a record player, I suppose. So that doesn't look too bad. It's kind of nice. I didn't realize some of the environment was interactable. You had to like find out exactly where things went there. All right, terrarium. Oh, I can drag and drop stuff. Wait, this is a furry world where animals also still exist. This is kind of interesting. Hey there, Lizzie. Ready for your meal? Is that it? There you go, honey. Interesting. So you can feed her lizard. But yeah, honestly, I can't imagine having an apartment this big. It's huge. Having an apartment this size would change my life. All right. And this is where it all started. Felt like I finally had a moment to prove myself. Renee, been getting a lot of positive responses on that piece you wrote about the Gastown geezers. Really fun, colorful stuff. Oops, I was trying to scroll down. As far as editors go, he is not the worst. I should try to wrap this up by today. Then again, I said that yesterday too. All right, how the heck do I scroll this? There we go. Piece you wrote about the Gastown geezers. Really fun, colorful stuff. Keep it up and you'll be a regular on features in no time. Now for a grim change of pace. Waskowski's off this week, so I'm gonna need you to work on the follow-up piece about that fire on the West End. There's apparently some similar, okay, I couldn't read that for some reason. Similar developments and residents are worried about a repeat, so I'm getting told to run something that will help settle those concerns. I've attached some of the public reports and the first notice we ran on it. Look into what happened and see if there's some way you can spin it into seeming more like a rare accident than a serious fire threat. Oh, and I skimmed the reports, and it sounds like the guy was messing around with stuff that he didn't understand. That might be your angle. Either way, let's see if we can quell this fire hazard hysteria so we can get back to what you do best. Dang, so she basically works for a magazine that's like basically controlled. Like they're being told what to run. Poor Lucas still hasn't figured out how to work the terminals. I don't mind, it's kind of cute. Hey sugar, finally got a terminal set up at my desk. Hope you get this. I don't know how you write so fast on these. Paperwork is going to be a nightmare. I love you, Smotch, Lucas. All right, Renee. I know you want to keep looking into the fire case, but we have to run something soon. You're not a detective, you're a writer. Leave solving crimes to the police. The only reason I keep letting you work on it for so long is because your other write-ups are stellar. But if you keep going like this, we'll be pushing the boundaries of what news is. And I mean that in the sense of being late to the party. Life's too short to be a perfectionist. Please have something for me by Wednesday. Wesley. All right, let's open this up. How do I... Give me the goods, game. There we go. For Renee. This is a big ask on my part, both surprised and proud that he managed to get them for me. Here it is, but don't get your hopes up. Sorry for the wait on this one. Scene statements are usually not for the public to see, so they had to strike a lot of it to protect the lives of the officers. Hopefully this will put your worries to rest a bit. Love you, Lucas. Crime scene report. Alright, here's the main report. I just wish so much hadn't been redacted from it. Alright, Detective Jack Huey, 34566. 34566, I can remember that. 245999, I can also remember that one. Alright, time 12:15, date 135:04:23. West End, 44 2nd Street, crime scene report. Suspect's apartment is small, maybe 500 square feet, and in a poor state. Living conditions are working class, typical of West End. Hallway entry, wallpapers coming off by the ceiling. Body was found close to the door. Beaver looks to be in his mid-20s. Mackenzie arrived at the same time as me and inspected the body while I had a look around. Didn't take long. The suspect had 3 bullet wounds, one in the abdomen, one in the torso, and one in the neck. The one in the neck was particularly gruesome, but Mackenzie's initial conclusion was that the suspect bled out. Mustn't have taken too long, on account of all the wounds. I'm guessing Miss Giannopoulos won't be required to do much of an autopsy. The suspect, Beaver, was wearing pants and suspenders, but no shirt. Body's stained with blood, but there's a fine dusting over the upper torso. Mackenzie tells me it's soot, and I can't argue. The head is similarly blackened by soot or blank, but it looks like the suspect made an effort to wipe it off. Top left shoulder looks like it has a burn mark. Mackenzie confirms it, saying it's very recent, probably today. Off to the side of the body is a tire iron, old and rusted. Some of the suspect's blood has pooled onto it, but no splatter. Kitchen is a mess. More soot, more ash, and a large amount of redacted hovering near the top of the ceiling, making it hard to breathe. Lingering smell of redacted, most likely from stove. There's footprints of soot leading out of the kitchen, but none leading in. Tools are scattered around the oven, the hatch of which has been screwed off. This is where most of the damage is. We opened some windows on our way out, but it's going to be a long time before they get the smell of redacted out of there. Rest of the apartment is not noteworthy. Small bedroom, almost entirely covered by the bed. Kitchen table and chairs moved to the side of the hall. Bathroom small and cramped. Nothing of interest in here except the body and the kitchen, both of which appear like closed cases. Addendum 424. I saw nothing that would have implied that the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge resolved the situation to the best of my ability. This is interesting. They say they had to redact things to protect the officers, but nothing here protects them. Nothing about them was redacted. The names, in fact, are left in the report. Head is similarly blackened by soot or blank. What is that? Maybe drugs or maybe some kind of goop that was seen in Backbone? There was some sort of like chemical bioagent in that game that was a part of the plot. Large amount of redacted hovering near the top of the ceiling, making it hard to breathe. Large amount of what? What would make it hard to breathe that's hovering towards the top of the ceiling? Just very odd. Get the smell of redacted out of there? Gotta be drugs, right? That's my guess. All right. Blue is here. Blue says, what's up? Hey, Blue. Welcome. Files. All right. Oh my God, so many files. Playing adventure games sucks on stream because they're so tired that I'm reading them out loud and I want to go to bed immediately. It takes so much out of me. All right. Police report. City Police Department, 245-9999. Same one, I think. Here's a statement from the first officer. Let's see. At 11:02 on the 4/23rd. Wouldn't it be on April 23rd? City Police, the 4th month, 23rd day, City Police dispatch received an emergency call from a tenant on the 3rd floor of a tenement block in West End, citing domestic altercations as cause of concern. Additionally mentioning having noticed smoke from the downstairs apartments, the home of Stone Castor, Beaver, mid-20s, and Roe Ileana, Beaver, mid-20s. 2 officers, including myself, were dispatched and arrived at the scene around 11:42. Upon arrival, Stone acted with hostility and refused the officer's entry to his home. After hearing sounds of distress from inside the apartment, Officer Redacted and I breached the door to the apartment. We could probably put it together, right? So that would be Detective Jack Huey? Let me see, or Mackenzie. No, Mackenzie is the... No, Giannopoulos is the autopsy. So Mackenzie must be a tech, an analyst or some forensics person. All right. Let's see. Officer Redacted and I breached the door to the apartment. Stone was wearing only pants and shoes, and his hands and face were dirty. The apartment smelled of smoke, and there was a small amount of it still in the ceiling. Immediately upon entry, Stone began acting in a menacing manner, wielding a blunt instrument in his left hand. Roe was acting hysterically, and all attempts to calm her were met with angry dismissal. Officer Redacted drew his service weapon and asked Stone to step down. During this time, I entered the kitchen to find it in a state of disarray. The oven was open and scattered around it were crude tools. The oven hatch was torn from it. There was a strong smell of electrical and wood burn. At this point, I heard a loud yelp from the hall, followed by a gunshot. I drew my service weapon, entered the hall, and found that Officer Redacted had discharged his service weapon, hitting Stone in the abdomen. Seeing that my partner had been injured, I determined that Stone was still a threat and discharged my service weapon twice. Stone was hit in the chest both times and dropped to the ground. Rowe was in a lot of distress, lashing out into a threatening manner, and was taken into custody for impeding a police investigation. Officer Redacted placed a call to dispatch, and we remained at the scene with Rowe until in custody in the patrol car. The coroner and detectives arrived around 12:09. Our initial statements were taken, and the body was removed from the premises. I saw nothing that would have implied that the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge, resolved the situation to the best of my ability. That's a cut and paste. Statement number 2. This is from the cop that stayed in the hallway. Public report, same place, Department 02. Officer Redacted was present during the testimony of Officer Redacted and confirmed the events of the report. For clarity, questions pertaining to the first time a service weapon was discharged were asked and make up the totality of this report. For further information, see 2241. After I drew my service weapon and Officer Redacted left to investigate the remainder of the apartment, Stone began making threats and insulting me and my partner. I asked Stone repeatedly to stand down, which he refused. Eventually, Stone charged at me with a sharp object, stabbing me in my left arm, and I discharged my service weapon, which hit Stone in the abdomen, causing Stone to back off a few steps. Officer Redacted entered the hall shortly after and subdued Stone further. I saw nothing that would have implied the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge, resolved the situation to the best of my ability. Interesting. I met Dorsey at the fire station. Good man, very helpful. Can probably trust his report. Alright, this is Dorsey. Injuries 14, fatalities 25. What? At 13:45 on April 23rd, the fire department was informed of a potential fire in an apartment building at 44 2nd Street, West End. Firefighters were deployed at 13:50 and arrived at the scene at 14:12. Is that true? $11:02. That's not true. From what Wayne told me, his original write-up got so edited he felt weird about putting his name on this one. All right, so here it says, like literally, it says firefighters were deployed at 13:50 and arrived at the scene at 14:12. Okay, so wait, this must have been hours after what's-his-name died then. So that's intriguing. I wonder why that is. All right. In the undetermined time prior to arrival, a large explosion on the second floor, later confirmed to be ignited gas leak, exacerbated the situation, and deployed firefighters took necessary steps to evacuate the building. After the explosion, the fire was centralized in the first and second floor, and the third in process of being engulfed. Fire was contained to the single building, and efforts to put out the fires went on until 16:55, at which time it was considered mostly contained. The efforts were continued until 18:45, at which point the fire had been extinguished completely. The area was sectioned off, and searching for survivors and victims of the fire continued until 14 on the 24th, with additional damage control and sectioning being done at 11:05 on the 25th. The area is considered completely secured and will be opened up for demolition on the 30th. Original notice by Wayne Waskowski. A fire erupted in an apartment building in West End yesterday, claiming the entire building in its wake. Although some tenants were successfully evacuated, many lives were lost during the disastrous fire. Exact number of fatalities have yet to be disclosed. Well, we know it's 25 at the very least. As efforts are ongoing to search the remains of the building, thanks to the city's finest, however, the fire was contained to a single building and no further damage was done to the surrounding buildings. So this is interesting, right? Because then we have these 424 reports about Stone and Rowe. So this was a day later. This was a day later as they were investigating. Okay. Interesting. How do I exit from this? There we go.
Hi.
Oh my god, he scared me. He's like a big wolf. Look at that. Hot dog. Literally. Keep staring at that screen like that and your eyes will go square, hon. Hey, baby. Give me 1 second, alright? Take your time, take your time. Have you been at the terminal all day? Lucas, shush. Alright, tell me when. done. Thank you for your patience. Shh. So you've been working all day, huh? Uh-huh. So, what's that important? Is it what I think it is? Well, what do you think it is? It's that article thing you were working on about the West End fire. You got it. Yeah, well, how's your investigation going? Didn't you say your edit guy was asking for it earlier? Edit guy? It's editor Lucas, and his name is Wesley. I'm sorry for not being much of the reading sort, Your Highness. Let's not keep Wesley waiting then. Walk me through it. Let's figure it out right now. Where should I start? Well, let's start at the beginning. Tell me about the fire. There were 2 calls about it, right? Where did it start? Stone's apartment, right? And how do we know that exactly? Are you completely sure you jump into conclusions? The first emergency call describes smoke coming from Stone's apartment. That seems to narrow it down, sure. It's just a question of timing, but we'll get to that. Yeah. All right, and when did the fire start? Before the second call, right? I don't remember this. I have to look. Here's a statement from the first officer. All right. "1350 arrived at the scene at 1412. An undetermined time prior to arrival, a large explosion on the second floor, later confirmed to be an ignited gas leak, exacerbated the situation." Oh, I guess so. The fire here wasn't about. I don't know. Before the second call at 1:45 p.m. How do we know that? The cops didn't see a fire. The firefighters did. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. At least we have a general time frame when the fire started. Anything else that comes to mind about it? There was one thing. All the police reports have the same passage at the end. I know that looks weird, but I'm pretty sure that's standard procedure. There's usually some legal jargon that needs to be added to statements to cover all bases. Didn't sound like legal jargon to me. Anything else? The first emergency call made mention of smoke, but only cops showed up. I'm not sure how they phrased it, but maybe they focused on something else during the call. Besides, it's not uncommon for us to be sent out to deal with small fires every once in a while. I wish they just hadn't sent just a couple cops over. Anything else? Oh, that's a good one. There's no records of who made the second call. We usually don't omit that. Maybe it was done from a payphone or something, anonymously? Why would someone report a fire anonymously, though? The cops saw signs of a fire but didn't alert the fire department. Signs of a past fire, right? If there are no flames and no cause of alarm, why would they have called it in? I'd call it for what it is. Neglect. No, they wanted to be out of there quick because of the thing. The smell, or like the smoke. Anything else? That's all. Let's move on. Okay, I know you're interested in this part, so let's go over it. Tell me about when the cops showed up. Stone didn't want to let them in. That's usually the case. No one likes having cops show up uninvited, much less have them enter their homes. Was there a reason for the officers to be suspicious? They heard a distressed voice from inside. That certainly feels like reason enough, especially if Stone was refusing to let them in. Sounds pretty clear-cut, right? I suppose it does. So there's reason for the officers to get in, and eventually they do, right? That's right. So how did they enter? They forced Stone to open it, correct? I think they did.
Ooh.
Maybe not. Forced him? That sounds strange. Are you sure you're remembering that right? Maybe not. All right, well, either way, they get in. What's the reaction from Stone and his partner? I mean, they asked him. Let's see. No, they breached the door to the apartment. That is 100% true. Interesting. Okay. Stone was hostile. I guess he was agitated but cooperated at first. Not really either. That checks out. In what way? He threatened them. Or he insulted them, I guess. Actionable, but not cause to use force. Unless he was incredibly vile, I suppose. Then what happened? They investigate the kitchen. All right, I think I remember this part. The first officer goes into the kitchen, hears a yell, and comes back. Do we know precisely what happened in the hall during that time? Stone attacked the second officer. Right. Does the report specify how? Like I said, he insulted and threatened the cop, and then attacked. All right, and with what? A sharp object. All right, he came at them with a weapon, and they responded with force. I'm sorry, Renee, but this is all according to protocol. Shooting someone without a gun after entering their home? Yeah, you said it yourself, Renee. He attacked the officers first. So it would seem. You doing okay? This whole case, it's a lot, isn't it? It's okay. I've seen worse. Well, try not to get used to it, Renee. It's not healthy. It chips away at your sanity. What about you? What do you make of it? I think this is an awful case. I think it's horrible, but I also think you're looking for something that isn't there. And maybe you're looking for someone to blame. It's not about blame. It's about those officers being held accountable for what they did. Maybe sometimes, but it's not an easy job. These are people that put their lives on the line every single day, and they get very little thanks for it. Fuck off, Lucas. That fire, they could have stopped it. Renee, I know it's awful, horrible, but I'm sorry. I don't see how they could have known or what they could have done. I know it's bad, but it's just unfortunate. I don't know if that's the word I'd use, Lucas. Raph says cop apologist, Lucas canceled. Lucas is a cop. She's married to a cop. Hey, let's just order dinner, all right? You've had a long day. I've had a long day. Let's just step away from this for a bit, okay? I don't know if I can, Lucas. I'll help you, all right? Come on, let's get some food. So I feel like the first thing I should have said is that the oven was a fire hazard. I'm irritated that I failed to convince him, though. Just because of that. It's interesting how sometimes you can get things wrong and then reference the notes, and other times you can't. That makes it a very difficult challenge.